Hi, I'm Duncan from FlowDNA, and I'd like to tell you about some toys I made. I made this toy, and this toy, and this toy, and this toy. I made all these toys. They're all tech fans. Now, a tech fan is essentially a fan made specifically for advanced flow arts and juggling circus techniques, as opposed to other kinds of fans that might just be made to blow air around or look pretty. These fans right over here are made from HDPE, like a soda bottle, and these over here are made with aviation grade plywood finished with shellac, like a custom guitar. Personally, we prefer the wooden option. We prefer the wooden option for reasons that are similar to why you would prefer a wooden musical instrument. We put a lot more effort into finishing the surface so that it's nice and smooth and you can feel the grain of the wood. Got a much more matte finish, which just feels drier compared to the sort of sticky feeling that you get from plastic. Wood also has a much warmer natural resonance, which you might not think makes all that much of a difference with object manipulation, but it really does. It dampens the impact when it hits your hands. A bit softer, less vibrational compared to a plastic fan, which is a much harder, more almost wobbly, bendy kind of, it vibrates in a different way that I just simply prefer the feel of the way that wood moves. There are, however, arguments about the longevity of HDPE. While these wooden fans will last a lifetime if you look after them, these HDPE fans will probably remain on this planet for hundreds of years, even if they end up in the ocean. The intention of the Mojura design was to make tech fans that were extremely comfortable to manipulate. I made them rounded all over so that there aren't any sharp points that can hit you and knock you when you toss them around. Also, on all the edges, of the fan, I made them as rounded as I possibly could so that it's comfortable for your fingers to hold them, get that nice, smooth, rounded feeling. I also put different places to grip the fans all around. This is largely because I tend to chuck my fans around a lot and I like to be able to catch them like wherever I want, such as with an oh shit in clubs. Oh shit. Am I allowed to say oh shit? It's the name of the trick, okay? You will also find at the center a logo, FlowDNA logo. At the center of this FlowDNA logo is your balance point, at least within 0.5 millimeters about, depending on the material density, variance, and such things. There are also markers on the sides of the fans for the balance points of a vertical balance. The line goes from the bottom through the center up to the top of the fan for a nice visual reference while balancing them. It is not, however, possible to balance these wick to wick-ish. Oh wow, well, that's not too bad. I even put small grips on the sides. Small tech grips, basically for 2 fingers, which I did because I saw a lot of people doing various kinds of techie moves where they would want to grab the edge of the fan, such as with gunslingers. Although, then after making them, I realized that actually these grips become something else. You get some interesting techie options with them. The center of the fan, which is also, by the way, a point where you can hold it, I designed it so you can do fishtails. So I designed the Mojura shape also so that you can layer them together and make shapes like a 180 degree. You can even hold them like that. You can do that and hold them back like that. Or you can layer them at 90 degrees. Same thing. It fits nicely in your hands at any angle. Sometimes I also like to just sit around and play with these things and make different shapes. By the way, the best style that I have to make these shapes, I believe, is the 2-finger grip, because of the fact that the side rings are the same size as the grip rings. I call this one the fish, and I call this one the shield. Currently, we make Mojura tech fans in 3 different grip styles. This is because different people like to play with their fans in different ways. The Mojura V1.0 two-finger grip might hold like this. 2 fingers in the center hole and 2 fingers out, something like that. These 2 fingers are used for control. It's made for your super American techie fidgety fan spinner who likes to do grid tech and stoppy-starty motions and plain switches. This nice wide flat area around here gives you more to hold on to, which is better for stalls and switchy, stoppy-starty motions. These holes are nice and big, so you can have various places where you can put your control fingers. The outer edge of the grip is based on an octagon. This is so that you have tactile feedback for finding all those 45-degree increments with your stalls and grid tech. Then we have the 3-finger grip. You might have 3 fingers in the center grip and 1 finger out for control. This is my personal favorite style. It also has a nice wide flat area and nice big holes for your fingers to fit into. So this is also very much a US tech style fan, except that the hole is a little bit bigger. This does mean that it makes it slightly easier to catch if you're going to be doing tosses. The outside of the grip is based on a padded square, which makes 90-degree angles really easy to find. Did I do it? I did. Then we have the 4-finger grip. You would have all 4 of your fingers holding onto the grip. This particular design is a hybrid between the Russian textile and the American textile. It's got a big grip like Russians, but it also has a bit of a wider flat area, which makes it somewhat easier to do stalls and such than with the Russian grip. While it does have a certain amount of flat area around the larger ring, it's not as wide as you'll find in the other techie grips, which makes it slightly easier to do these scissor motions, which you'll see a lot of Russian tech spinners do a lot of these. Scissor grip switches are really useful for doing weaves and fountains and big motions and things like body traces, where you have to keep switching your grip around. It's also almost like a hoopy kind of technique. It'll probably be even easier to do your scissor motions with a single ring Russian fan, something like this, although not this one, because that sucks. We don't really make any of those just yet, but we will be making them soon. For each different grip style, we also make them in different sizes. You have a small fan or a medium fan. This is because different people come in different sizes. If you are a tall person, then you'll probably want a medium-sized fan. If you are a small person, or if you have disproportionately short arms, or if you really like to do these inside elbow foldy techniques, then you'll probably want a small one. It also depends on your finger thickness. Some people have really thin fingers, like I know an illustrator with 12mm fingers, so she can fit 3 fingers into one of these little 2-finger grips. And I also know a martial artist with 3cm fingers, so he will fit 1 finger into a 3-finger grip. So there are many factors. I will put a finger measuring guide down in the description over there. It also comes down to personal preference. It's really hard for me to say what kind of fan you're going to want to play with. If you would like to, send me a photo with measurements of your hands and perhaps a video clip of yourself dancing, then I can tell you what I think would be the best fan for your shape and style. It may or may not be a fan that I make though. If you do know exactly what kind of fan you want to play with, and you've looked around our shop and you found that we don't make those kinds of fans, feel free to send us an email or a WhatsApp or an Instagram message or a Facebook message. Tell us what you want us to make. If we have enough interest for different kinds of styles of fans, I'm more than willing to design them for you and sort this out. So essentially, that is the Mojura Tech Fan version 1.0 in a nutshell. It must be a pretty big nut to fit all those words in it. Subscribe over there. Click that button. I'm supposed to say that, right? Thanks for watching.